This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/psychetruth.
Hello, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to be working on the lovely Julia, and we're going to be doing a massage for stiff upper back, and this is going to be a quicker massage, just a routine if you don't have a whole lot of time. And I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. So I'm going to go right in with a pincer grasp. So this is a really great way, if you don't have a lot of time, to just get some fresh blood flow. So I'm just going to, first of all, go in slowly and introduce my touch. And I'm going to start to just squeeze this levator muscle and this upper trap as well. And just by squeezing, every time that I release, there's fresh blood that moves into muscle. And you just want to make sure that you're not pinching skin, because that never feels nice. So just staying on the muscle belly and really focusing on this levator. And I'm going to start to just increase my pressure a little bit. I wouldn't say this necessarily feels really relaxing, but it can be really healing, just to ultimately help your client feel better. And I'm going to go ahead and move into some compressions in this upper and lower trap. And this is the main muscle that I'm going to be working on. It's kind of the first muscle that I think of when people have complaint about stiff upper back or soreness up here. And you really don't have to get fancy about this, just some simple thumb compressions. That feels good. I'm actually going to go in with my forearm, especially when I want to work on both the upper and lower traps. It's a really nice way to kind of warm that whole area up. So I'm going to go ahead and just go in with my forearm. And I'm using a nice broad surface area here. And I'm usually doing this over a sheet, which is actually easier than skin on skin. But this works too. And I like to spend a good minute or two just giving my client a nice warm up. And I talk a lot about, this is kind of like me spelling out how the massage is going to go. So I find that if my client has a pretty good idea, they can relax a little bit more and enjoy the massage a little more. I really love forearm and elbow work. I use it whenever I can. I prefer this kind of work on the upper traps as opposed to using my thumbs a whole lot. Not only because it's easier, but I just feel like I'm more effective, especially at trigger point. And I'm going to go ahead and go in, focusing on that levator as well, the top of that shoulder. I'm just going to go in with my elbow a little bit more. And because I'm warming up, I'm just using a little restraint, not going too deep. And whenever I can, I support myself with the table as well. I feel like some therapists that are a little bit newer feel like they should never even touch the table. It's just not the case. And I'm going to go ahead and go in with my oil. Just some broader effleurage strokes to get everything going. I love bringing that upper trap work all the way into the neck. And I'm going to start using the heel of my hand a little bit more and just wrapping my hands around the scapulas. And yeah, my main focus today is that lower and upper trap. So just finding a nice consistent pressure on the way down and the way up. And one little trick, if you're new to doing a whole lot of elbow work or forearm work, you have a ton of sensitivity in the pads of your fingers. And sometimes you can just feel a little more confident going in if you do a little bit of work with your thumbs. You can kind of follow the lines of the muscles. And I'm going to go ahead and just go right in with my forearm. And always when you are lower to your client, you want to widen your stance. Just make sure that your back doesn't hurt when you're working. And I will say that if you are trying to just use your forearm without working from your core, you're going to get tired really quickly. So I'm really I'm starting from my core and working as a whole unit. And I'll do several passes with my forearm before I start working more locally. So you're usually gonna find some really good trigger points in here around the scapula. And I'm already feeling some spots that really could use it. So I'm gonna start to just hold for maybe 3 to 5 seconds. And it might look like I am totally losing contact with my client, but even when I'm doing forearm work, I'll stay connected. Otherwise, it can feel really choppy. I really like to just kind of do a little something on both sides before I transition. And I'm gonna hop on over to this left side. And don't be surprised if when you're working you feel like working with your dominant side, it just feels more natural. I usually feel a lot more comfortable working with my right side. And so just finding a nice flow and really allowing the muscle fiber to soften, not trying to just force my way through it. And gradually starting to work my way into some trigger point here. You can usually find a better flow if you have a wider stance as well. You're going to feel more stable. Sometimes if I'm struggling and not feeling as smooth with my technique as I want, it's because I'm just trying to work too high up from the table. And just bringing that stroke all the way along that upper trap into the neck. And before I forget, I just want to thank a few of our patrons. I'd like to thank Joseph K, Stephen S, and Benjamin Riddle. Thank you guys so much for your support. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed today's video, you should check out our Patreon page where you'll find some exclusive content. I look forward to seeing you there.